So, audit documentation refers to the records that auditors keep during the audit process. So, here quality means whether the audit procedure has been done according to the standards or not. Audit evidence, as the name itself indicates, it tells us or it consists of all the information that it needed to prove something. Hello everyone, I am Niklavati S, Faculty of Commerce, Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence, MYSURU. I welcome you all for this session on Introduction to Auditing, where we are discussing about the topic that is audit documentation. We will be seeing what is audit documentation, what is audit evidence, and what do you mean by written representation. First, let us know what is audit documentation is all about. So, audit documentation refers to the records that auditors keep during the audit process. These records provide evidence that the audit was conducted in accordance with the auditing standards and support the conclusions and opinions in the audit report. So, audit documentation is all about those documents that are kept by the auditors during the process of auditing, and also these records provide evidence that the audit was conducted based on the accounting standards or the rules and regulations, and also it supports for the conclusions and opinions that the auditors have to draw from the auditing process. So let us know what is the importance of audit documentation is. So why we need to keep the records of all the auditing process or the tests that are done during the process of auditing? Because it acts as an evidence of work done. So it helps the auditors, or it serves as an evidence for the auditors that they have done the auditing process properly as per the rules and regulations or the set standards. Say for example, documentation of tests performed by the auditor to check the company's accounts receivables whether they are accurate or not. So then the audit documentation also supports for audit opinion. That means it helps the auditors to draw a conclusion about the tests that are performed or the process that is done, like examination or verification of the books of accounts that they have done. So the final opinion of the auditor is nothing but to give either an audit report, whether it is qualified or unqualified. It's regarding the true and fair view of the company's accounts. So these works and records and the tests that are done, the findings that they have found out and recorded, all this helps to draw a final conclusion, that is the audit report. So it also helps them for quality control. So here quality means whether the audit procedure has been done according to the standards or not. So to ensure these, whether the process was standardized or whether the tasks or the activities or the findings, or we can say the identification of risk by the auditors, whether these functions and analysis is done properly or not. So that is only you can come to know by reviewing what is there in the audit documents. So it helps for the auditors to maintain the quality as per the accounting standards, and it serves or comes in case of legal issues. So it gives a legal protection for the auditors in case of any kind of legal issues, either with related to the client or related to the auditing firm, or in case of any kind of litigation, they can show this audit documentations or record that they have done the procedures as per the standards. Now let us know what is audit evidence is all about. Audit evidence, as the name itself indicates, it tells us or it consists of all the information that it needed to prove something. So the audit evidence consists of the information collected by the auditors to support their audit opinion. Say for example, they have given an opinion that the company's accounts are true and accurate. So what is the evidence for supporting this opinion or conclusion? So these are the information that is collected by the auditors. Then audit evidence also includes all the data and information that auditors use to form their conclusions about the financial statements. So whatever the conclusions they draw from the procedure of verifying and examining of the financial statements, this is all evidenced or backed by certain information and data. So this here audit evidence is nothing but all kinds of information that is collected by the auditors to draw the opinion. Then coming to the importance of audit opinion. So why the auditor has to keep all this information or data as an evidence? Because it supports the audit opinion. So to say for example, to prove that the company's statements are wrong or to prove that the company's statements are accurate, so it is done only on the base of some kind of information that you have. So that information is nothing but the procedure that the auditors perform during the audit process. So this information, the data, the test or the work that is done by the auditors acts as a support for drawing the audit opinion. And also it confirms assertions. So it confirms that whether the data or the information provided by the management is right or wrong. It helps the auditors to confirm the management assertions on their financial statements. Say for example, if the management claim that they have certain amount of assets in their company. So here the auditor can go and verify and observe whether there is physical existence of those assets that is claimed by the management or not. So it helps the auditors to confirm the assertions, and also it helps the auditors to identify any kind of misstatements. So here misstatements refers to any kind of errors or faults or mismanagement of funds that is done from the side of the companies or companies' accounts. So proper collection of information and data helps the auditors to identify the risk or frauds easily. Let us see what are the characteristics of a good audit evidence. So characteristics consist of relevance, reliability and sufficiency. So here relevance refers to that the information or the data that is collected by the auditors is correct, or it is relevant to the transactions or events that they are going to verify and examine. This evidence must relate to the audit objectives. Say for example, using bank statements to check the cash transactions. Then reliability is one of the characteristics of a good audit evidence, as the information or the audit evidence should provide the trustworthy and also a proper information. For example, bank statements obtained directly from the bank are more reliable than the statements that are given by the clients. Sufficiency here means it should provide complete information about a particular transaction or wherever the auditors are in need. For example, testing a representative sample of transactions rather than conducting only on a few transactions. Moving on to the next concept, that is written representation. So what is written representation is all about? Written representation refers to a formal statement provided by the client's management to the auditor confirming certain matters related to the audit. So it is a written formal representation or a document that is given by the client's management. So by the management of a particular business to the auditors stating or related to the matters that of the audit or the financial statements. This written representation also serves as an important part of the audit evidence because it contains the informations whatever the management claims regarding its assets or the financial statements. So again, this information is also serves as an audit evidence. So why the auditors need a written representation? Because it confirms management assertions. So it confirms that all the information or the data that is provided by the management to the auditors is correct and accurate. For example, management claims that all the liabilities of the firm has been shown on the balance sheet, and written representation supports the audit's evidence because it acts as an evidence for the auditors, whatever the management or the information that is that the management provides to the auditors. And for example, say if the management claims that it has shown all kinds of frauds and errors that are identified, or if they can claim that the financial statements of that particular company has no frauds or errors or any kind of mismanagement, and it clarifies responsibility. Again, the written representation that is given by the management to the auditors is also helps to clarify the responsibility of both the clients as well as the auditors. So here it may clarify that whatever the financial statements that is prepared by the client company is in accordance with the rules and regulations or tax laws. Say for example, it may claim that, or it may make an assertion that it is paying its tax regularly. So what are the contents of a written representation? So generally in a written representation, the management claims that all the financial statements are correct and accurate, and the financial statements of the business is providing proper information, and they depict the true financial position of the company. And the management may say that whatever the information they provide to the auditors is complete. So the information or the evidence or the document vouchers the number of transactions that have happened, which is given to the auditors for auditing, it is all complete. And they can also make an assertion that it consists of legal and regulatory complaints. That means the management here, through their written representation, they can state that they are in compliance with the legal rules and regulations, and they are following the accounting standards, etc. For example, the management may assert that the company is in compliance with all the tax laws and it has paid its tax properly. And frauds and errors. So again, the management in their written representation, they can assert that all kinds of errors and frauds are identified and they have not done any kind of intentional frauds, or their financial statements are free from frauds. Then subsequent events. Say for example, after the balance sheet date, whatever the events or transactions that have occurred after the balance sheet date and which is going to impact the financial position of that particular business for that particular balance sheet date. They can say that all those events and transactions are shown in the balance sheet properly, or it is shown in the financial statements of the company properly. So we can conclude that the audit documentation, the audit evidence and written representation are the crucial elements of the overall documents that are used in the auditing process. It not only helps both the auditors, but also it helps the client's business. So it also helps for them in kind of any legal issues also. And these documents serve as a proof for the auditing process that is done. So hope you all have understood this concept. Thank you.